From the cell to the sidewalk, from survival to rebirth, from cold tears to new frontiers, these are the stories they never wanted out. So, this is the Visitation Room Podcast, Second Lap Media Production, and I am Amir Tariq, your host. All right, so today on the Visitation Room Podcast, I got my main man, Banky Pound's DC legend here. And today what we're going to talk about is some of the basic things that you went through, how it transformed you for the good or for the bad. And I just want to start off with a few questions. Initially, when you got incarcerated, right, you went the Virginia system, right?
Yeah.
Okay, state or fed?
I went to state.
State system, okay. So in the Virginia system, what was it like when you first got in? What was it like?
I mean, it was new. Everything was new to me because I had never been locked up before, So I think the first place I went, the first place I went was in the jails, man. So just never being locked up before going to the jails was transition for me.
Right.
But I think in some type of way it helped me because I stayed in the jail so long. I think I stayed in the jail for over a year and a half, going back and forth to trial. So that was my initial, being locked up, how to deal with it, dealing with different jokers. I'm from DC. Right. These jokers don't know me, so I'm having to, get into little scuffles, little rumbles or whatnot. So it was like, pre-planning for me of what was, to come ahead.
Right.
I left there. I went to Southampton receiving. That was a big difference from the jail, if you ask me. It's a big difference, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, boom, now I'm thinking in my mind, like, this is it. This how it's going to be. I'm, seeing the difference in the food, the difference in how we move, difference in how the officers, they right here with you. You in the jail, they on the outside. See them every now and then. But it was a transition, but I ended up getting an altercation real fast in my receiving, and they took me from receiving and sent me straight to the wall.
When you say the wall, so let me give a little bit of VA history real quick.
Yeah.
So when you say the wall, a lot of people don't know that you being from DC, included in that, a lot of inmates that were in DC would go to Lorton, right?
The wall.
Right? So then, but Virginia also had their version of 500 Spring Street,
500 Spring Street.
Right. So, but when you include, or you say, because a lot of people think, okay, Virginia, they don't think, the prisons go hard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The reality of it is, just real quick, if you could expound on this a little more, when people get or come to Virginia, because a lot of times people come down trying to get money. All the rappers talked about it, because if you wasn't trying to get money in Virginia, you wasn't trying to get money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But coming to Virginia, these people getting locked up. You got people from New York, Delaware, so on and so forth. Of course, DC.
Right.
But then it's like an influx with all these people. So tell me what that was like, that climate, because you said you weren't from Virginia, but you ended up doing your time there. So what was that climate like? Because you're not from there. What was that like?
Man, it was different, man. It was different. It was different, man. Because, like, okay, the DC population in Virginia, especially like when I first came in, small, real small.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think, I ended up doing 33 years, thank God I made it through. But I think I ain't never been on a compound, and I went to 13 different prisons, I believe. I don't think I ever been on a compound where the DC population was over 100. Over 100.
It was always a small number of people.
Always small numbers, so we always outnumbered, outgunned. Mm-hmm. But it's like we was respected because when issues did arise, we gonna go the hardest, we go the longest, and we gonna, you know what I'm saying, we gonna make it happen. What happened? So we got a lot of respect. So soon as I get in there, I like I say, I acknowledge that. So, this is the smallest population, but I had family in VA as well, you know what I'm saying, but not none that was locked up. So, when I did run into a DC cat, it was like boom, 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 and it was just automatic, we stuck together, you know what I'm saying, because the bar was understood that, ain't a whole lot of us, but we respect it, you know what I'm saying, but VA, man, I'm telling you, that's a false narrative right there if people think that VA prison don't go hard. I ain't never been in no other prison but VA. So I know for a fact that, man, you got some cats in VA super duper thorough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Gonna do whatever, take life. You know what I'm saying? At the drop of a dime, you know, you got legends in the VA system. You know, the Sam Pitts, the Bo
Oh
Billies,
man,
you know, the Shorty Pimps, the
right,
River
right,
Boats.
right,
I mean,
right,
the
right.
list goes on and on, man. But these dudes is legends in their own right in that Virginia penal system. And you got to think, man, you got dudes in the Virginia penal system from, like you say, everywhere. They had a New York, decent population from New York. They got a decent population from like Atlanta, places like that.
Right,
It's
right.
a lot of different, but then Virginia got their own sections as well.
Yeah,
You dig what
the
I'm saying?
Richmonds, the
You got
Norfolks, right,
Richmond,
right, right.
Tidewater. Then you know you got the little places like Petersburg, Hopewell, Prince George. So they had their own little mobs as well. But the biggest mob was Richmond.
Obviously, yeah.
Richmond was the biggest. Richmond was probably. I mean, they'll debate that Richmond or Tidewater, like, far as the most dangerous. But
Right, right.
the thing I found out about what Richmond is, bro, I will get them hands down. They stuck together more than anybody.
The thing I want to bring attention to is like when you're talking about the most thorough, because to me, when I was in Virginia system, I was in Alexandria. I lived in Alexandria.
Right.
I'm a military brat, lived in Belleville. Then from Belleville, I went to Hayfield High School. Ended up getting in trouble in that area, right?
Right.
And then I would go back and forth Baltimore and so on and so forth. But the thing that always struck my attention was that living in Virginia in the Alexandria area, I used to beef with guys from D.C.
Right.
So you probably recall like
Right,
Anacostia
right.
Day,
Yeah,
Malcolm
yeah,
X. Malcolm X Day on Anacostia Park.
Yeah.
The guys wearing the 703.
Yeah.
So back in those days,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, for
so
sure.
we go, but then when we got incarcerated,
Right.
we was family.
Right,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? We was locked in because
Yeah.
you had, like you said, you had Richmond,
Right.
which was very thorough. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But when it got to a point, what would you say? Like it was always a beef, or from you, do you think it was a thing where it was like sometimes real recognized real?
Yeah, I think that's what it boils down to: real, recognize real. And then I think prison is prison is a lot different than what we see on TV and the movies and this, that, and the third.
Definitely.
The crazy part about prison is this, all right? Almost everywhere you go in life, like say for instance, you beefing with like you go in prison. Now you beefing with people you from Virginia, you don't like people from D.C. You from D.C., you don't like the dudes from New York. But the irony in that is, you ain't even know these people on the street.
Exactly,
So you're
yeah,
not beefing
yeah.
with them. The people that you actually beefing with is the people from your own city.
Right.
But when you incarcerated, that's out the window because now we talking about survival. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So we can't be in prison, me and you from D.C., and we in prison, we beefed on the street, now we in prison, we going to continue our beef.
Right.
That's like domestic violence in prison because, you know what I'm saying? Because now we trying to survive.
Yeah.
So you got to come together in prison because now we talking about survival of the fittest.
Exactly.
And then why I'm going to beef with you because we ain't like each other on the street when we in this place where don't nobody like us because of where we from.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we got to come together, you know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of street beefs is squashed like that by being in prison because now we on some survival mode type
default,
stuff.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them dudes in Richmond, like I say, them dudes, man, when I came in, you fight a dude from Richmond, you probably going to get jumped. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like the probability out of...
They gonna drag you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They gonna try to stomp you out, let you pick that thing up and get them up off you.
Exactly.
So, but these dudes were shooting and killing each other on the street. But in the penitentiary, they united because they know that's the best, way to survive this situation.
Exactly.
So I think prison does that, man, and it's a ton of bad things about prison.
Right.
But I think the few good things about prison, one being the brotherhood and the camaraderie, man. You gonna meet so many brothers in prison that might end up being your brother for life. You know what I'm saying? You gonna meet so many of them that. Like his brothers I met in prison right now, I call them like my real brothers.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I done been back to back with them where life is on the line.
Exactly.
You
right,
dig what I'm saying?
exactly,
So
exactly.
you can't substitute that. You can't get rid of that. That's real. That's gonna always be real. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about that is I'm 59. You dig? I did 33 years in prison. So in actuality, I only been on the streets in my entire life for 25 years. So I've been around brothers in prison more than I've been around my own family.
Exactly, right.
You understand me?
Right.
So dudes in prison are my family.
Exactly.
So That's the good that comes out of prison, man, because you gonna meet real people. You could be out here on the streets in the real world and be around somebody you grew up with, went to junior high, high school, elementary with, and you never be in a situation where you really know if he real or not, where you really know if he got your back or not. You ain't gonna know those type of things until it's a life or death situation.
But in that environment,
Tested, you're gonna find out. So you know who beside you. You know what he cut from. You know what he'll do and what he won't do.
Exactly.
But you may not never know that out here with a joker until something happened or you get a case or something, and then he be the one testifying on you. Yeah. But you been running around with this joker since you was 8, 9 years old, and you thinking that he like that, but he ain't never been tested. Exactly. See what I'm saying? In prison, that's gonna be answered. So that's why I think the bonds in prisons is more stronger, because you know who your brother is, because life and death been on the line and he done stood tall. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this. When it comes to that, on that thing like friendship and so on and so forth, this is a thing that, because as I mentioned to you before, I did 25 years, 1 month, 10 days. One of the things that, and I don't say that to glorify it.
Yeah.
A lot of people say,
because it's fact.
This is fact. Yeah. This is my life.
Yeah.
I like the point where you made by saying, you know that more than what you know out here.
Absolutely.
Right? So let me ask you, when it comes to dealing with someone or meeting someone new, how do you kind of like decipher, like, okay, this is someone I can rock with or someone I can't rock with? Do you use your prison mentality or that to figure it out?
Absolutely. And I hate to use this analogy, but I say this a lot, man.
I don't expect nothing but real from you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I got to say it though. I fashion myself as a niggaologist. You know what I'm saying? I've been around brothers, man, for 24/7, 365 for over 12,065 consecutive days.
12,000.
I did 12,065 consecutive days incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? In bondage.
Right.
I've been around dudes 24/7. I know real when I see real.
Exactly.
I may not let a dude know what I know, but I know within the first 10 minutes of my conversation whether or not this is the type of dude I can somewhat trust, I can somewhat deal with, I can somewhat build with. I know this because I done seen the good, the bad, the ugly, the wicked, the sneaky, you know what I'm saying, the skullduggery, the larceny. I done seen it all. Mm-hmm. You understand? So even during my 33 years of prison, you ain't gonna find more than 6, 7, 8 dudes that somebody can say, man, that was bank partner, man. That's who we used to rock with. That's who we was cool.
Real small.
Small, man. Because I learned that coming in. You can't trust everybody. Everybody not who they say they are. Exactly. So I judge people with my radar of how I know dudes. You know what I'm saying? I know them. I don't listen to what people say. I watch what they do.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? The mouth, everybody got one. You know what I'm saying? You can say anything. I tell my kids, man, and I tell them all the time. I told them from the time they was young, they grown now. I say, if their words don't match up to their action, they a liar by definition. You understand me? So you can tell me I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna yes you. All right, that's what's up. Woo woo woo. But if you don't match that with your actions and all you got is excuses, then I already know you a liar. You know what I'm saying? I judge people by what they do, not what they say. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I judge a person. And I think that's how men should be judged, by your actions, not your words.
Facts.
Everybody got a mouth. Kids got mouth. Right. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, people are going to say what needs to be said in the conversation of who they talking to.
Exactly.
That's not exactly what the truth is.
And that comes from niggerology.
That's niggerology. You know what I'm saying? That's niggerology, man. So, and dudes gonna do that. Everybody got an angle. You got to find out what their angle is. Now, I understand it. In order to have a friendship, it has to be mutual. It has to be beneficial for both parties. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just a friendship, the respect level got to be there, where both people respect each other. But the thing about that is, men, this is how men, this is the mentality of men. I studied a lot of philosophy when I was locked up, man, a lot. I done read Nietzsche, I done read Freud, I done read Aristotle. I'm talking about back and forth. My personal favorite is Aristotle.
Okay.
He has a book called The Desire to Understand. And he says that men, by definition, are political animals. They want to conquer, they want to rule, they want to know what. They need to know the why and everything to understand everything, right? Exactly. But the thing about this is, most men, when they befriend each other, facts did, one of them immediately thinks that they're superior to the other. In order for him to befriend somebody, most of the time that man thinks that he's superior to the other in one way or another. I get more money than him, or I look better than him, I get more girls than him. You know, dudes, this is usually how friendships is bonded. Friendships are not usually bonded by men when both of them feel equal admiration for and respect for each other. This is the way it should be bonded, but this is not normal way that it be bonded. You know what I'm saying? Where the mutual respect is going along. And that's how you get a real friendship.
Definitely,
where you look at your brother as your equal, not beneath you, not above you, where you want for your brother what you want for yourself.
So let me ask you this. I like how you said it took like 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Segue to my big brother, Abdulaziz, 10 minutes of truth. But this is something I discovered when I was inside, that 10 minutes for me also is true. Because if you think about it, when somebody comes in your cell, you get a new cellie, right?
Right.
You got about 10 minutes to figure out, is this dude going to stay in the cell with me?
Right.
Am I going to pack him out? He got to go. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Is he good people? You got like 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And I actually have taken that out here in society, because like when I deal with people, mainly if I'm dealing with somebody, I can size them up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like what's going on? Is somebody I can rock with or not? Whatever.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you this. When it comes to women and relationships, I'm not going to get into your personal life like that, but when it comes to women and relationships, because we dealt with men, you know what I'm saying? So in that 10 minutes getting to figure out who that is, have you struggled with that?
With women?
With women and trying to size up, okay, is it something real?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's the same, right? In life, man, you will find most things are universal, right? You can apply and reapply to different situations. I find that the problem with women, with dudes coming out of prison, especially dudes that did a lot of time, right?
Right.
I think this is, you know the old narrative, like say, dudes say, oh, well, he was locked up and this girl held him down for X amount of time, whether he came out and he died or he left, right? That's the narrative of dudes coming out of prison. This is the part they don't tell you, right? Now, these are two different people. The woman that held you down while you was locked up, when you get out here, that's a different person. You understand? Because now you're talking about a conversation over the phone. You're talking about hour visit or two every weekend, right? This is the only time that you are actually around that person, right? A relationship when you're in prison is built upon conversation, right? And that is more intimate than anything. So that's why you become so close. Because in actuality, statistics show that even when couples out here that's married and live together on the street, it says they speak about relationships, dating, fun things, what they like, what they don't like, how you doing, how was your day. They speak less about that, probably less than an hour per month. Mostly it's talking about bills, where we going today, or did you do this, or house chores and stuff like that. They not spending that quality time. When you locked up, that's what you talking to a woman about. How was your day? Did you do this? And that's what makes the relationship bond so strong. But when a man comes home, then the woman does not acknowledge that this is a human being that's been removed from society for 25, 35, 40 years. It takes some adjusting. You know what I'm saying? It may be hard for a brother to lay in the bed with a woman all night because he sleep and then he roll over and he touch it and he might get up and wanna, because he used to.
Been there.
Yeah, and he got his radar on that. When I'm asleep, I'm alone, and ain't nobody should be touching me. If somebody touching me, I need to be up and rumbling. So these are little small things that they don't consider. They don't consider where you at. You left an hour ago. They want to know where you at. They texting you, what you doing, all of this. That's gonna give dudes triggers of the police. Hey, Azim, where you been? Amir, where you been? Where your pass at? Or where you was at? You was in the gym.
It's a trigger.
It's policing. You don't want that. I dealt with that even with my family coming home, my sister, and I know it's out of love. But they have to understand too that we dealing with stuff. You know what I'm saying? All scars you're not gonna be able to see from prison. You understand me? So when somebody want to know your every move, they want to know what you're doing. They don't even consider the fact that I'm with you. I've been gone for 33 years and I choose to be with you. I'm not out here running around trying to catch back 33 years. I'm coming home every day to you. But sometimes that's not enough for them. They want more out of your life. And it's like, I find that people don't want you to be happy if they can't be happy with you. And those are two different things, man. It's a difference in wanting somebody to be happy and then just wanting them to be happy with you. A lot of people want to share every experience that you have when you come out of prison.
Would you say that's a level of selfishness?
Very much so.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
again, right?
Because they want, that's that. You know what I'm saying? They want to share every moment that you have when you out. They don't want you, and it's just a crazy thing. It's like they don't want you to have fun that they're not included in. They want everything to be with them. Like you say, if you got a friend, you got a homeboy, or I'm going, but they want you to have all the fun with them because they feel like, well, I was with you when you was locked up, or woo woo woo, whatever the case may be. But you have to acknowledge that you, say for instance, you was locked up 25 years, right? So whoever did you partner with or whoever did you get with when you get out, whether it was somebody that was with you when you was in or somebody you met out here, they had their whole life to enjoy life, to do what they wanted to do, to have the fun that they chose to have, and to go to places that they chose to go. So why, and no one told you or put restrictions on that. So why would you do that to somebody else?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like a catch-22. So I feel like the person that you choose to link up with and to spend the rest of your life with, they need to understand these small things and just be considerate that this is a person that has missed a lot of life, but at the same time, they're chosen to go forward the rest of their life with you.
Exactly.
So have a little consideration for that. And I think a lot of times relationships don't work out here for dudes who've been locked up a long time because the woman has a lack of understanding for that. If you could find a woman that got understanding for that, that's the one you should roll out with. You know what I'm saying?
So I remember back in the breaking barrier days, when that old program.
Yeah, for sure.
They were saying a man, once he comes home, shouldn't really date or anything for like up to a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, for myself, because we were just talking about it, big ups to Mama Tess. For myself, I came home to a situation, right? Well, a marriage. I came home to it, and we rocked. Everything was good, but then it went south because, like you were saying, there were so many. I don't like being questioned, even to this day.
Absolutely.
Don't question me about nothing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? My father, is a superhero to me. My father asked me things, and I got to catch myself. And look, this is Pop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If Pop asked me, hey, what are you up to?
Right.
What you getting into? Why'd you do that? I got to. Okay, this is my father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm still like that today. Don't question me about nothing.
Yeah.
If I want you to know, I'm gonna let you know.
Absolutely.
But like you were saying, that's one of the things that from our environment, because it's like somebody's policing you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every time we moved, we didn't have that freedom. They had to know where and it was security. They were doing their job.
Yeah.
But that's just how it was. So with that, going back to, and I appreciate you dropping that on us too, right?
Yeah.
Going back to when you were saying about DC and everything like that, and the environment, different places all smashed in together, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that created an environment of I don't say violence, but do you think it created that type of animal? Where it was just like everything was just boom.
Yeah.
Like tell me, go answer that and then go into like one of the things that you let you know is like, yo, this is real. You know what I'm saying?
Well, growing up in DC, period, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna see violence. I grew up in Southeast, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I lived in Eastgate. You did?
Yeah,
so,
it's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Real.
So I already understood, the language of violence. I understood that, you know what I'm saying? So in a lot
language of violence.
The language of violence. And a lot of that really, you know what I'm saying, I think that really helped me when I ended up in the situation I ended up in prison, especially like saying in the wall. When I first hit the wall, I seen somebody get killed within the first week,
The first week you were in the wall, you saw somebody get
killed. Brutally killed. You know what I'm saying? I was on the phone talking to my mom, and I seen this big dreadlock dude, man. He was walking up and down the till. And the wall was so unrestricted, man. Dudes walked around with Bethlehem hanging hanging out their pants, bro.
Yeah.
It won't no police. The whole time I was in the wall, they ain't even never shake down. You know what I'm saying? So everybody scrapped. You dig? Right. So dudes walking around with the knives hanging out, letting you know they got them. So it won't you know what I'm saying, heard of for me to see somebody walking around with a knife. So that ain't, I done got used to that already. In a couple of days, I see dudes like that, so I know that's normal. So it ain't like I see a dude with a knife hanging out his pants. I'm like, oh, well, watch him, because everybody was doing it.
Right.
So I'm on the phone, and I got my back against the wall, and dude, he just pacing, and he got the joint hanging out his pants. He big joker too, long dreads all the way down his back. He's got on a pair of jeans, shoes, no shirt. Pace back and forth, and other people pacing. And as he was coming back this way, and dude was coming towards him, and he done passed the dude a couple of times. I guess whatever they had going on this time, as he was coming, he's up the joint and just started
Hit him. Yeah.
drove him all the way down to the ground. And I'm talking about he got up on top of him and he was hitting him so hard you could hear his hand hitting his chest like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, what the you know what I'm saying?
Right,
and I'm looking and
this is the first week.
Yeah, but he was hitting him so vicious that in my mind at first I'm thinking like he just socking this joker, right? And then I see the blood start flowing and I'm like, and I could look, because it's fast, so, you know, you can't really see the joint going in and out because it's so fast.
Right.
Then when I look, I'm like, oh, he's stabbing this joker, right? So, boom, he finished, he pulled his joint out, started just walking up and down the tier, and dude just gargling in blood trying to get up, but he can't get up.
Right.
And then he just laid down, and I could hear him, bro. I could literally hear him. And I could see all his blood in the pool start getting bigger.
Now, Maj, let's take note of this. This is your first week.
First week, bro. You know what I'm saying? And see, the floors is made like out of concrete like this.
Right.
So I can see the pool of blood just getting bigger and bigger. And people are literally still walking past like this ain't just happened, right? So I'm like, and mind you now, I'm like 21. So I'm like, man, what the fuck, man, this. And my mom is on the other end like, hey, Banky.
You still on the phone.
I'm on the phone, bro. I'm on the phone, bro. I'm stuck. I'm literally stuck.
Right.
And I could hear her voice like, Banky, what's going on? And I'm like, man. Because I'm looking at, now I'm just, everything. My radar's up.
Right.
So boom. And they keep walking and people walking and they starting to walk around them. Then they tracking blood up and down. And this joint was so vivid in my brain, right? And I'm like, man, this crazy. So boom, I stay on the phone. I tell my mom I got to go. Boom, I get off the phone. Right. I'm literally thinking about how to move, how to walk across this joint. Because I don't know. I'm paranoid as hell now. Boom. So when I start moving, I go over, I stand in the corner, I wait. You know what I'm saying? I'm on post. Any joker coming in, I'm going to knock him out. Because I'm paranoid as I don't know what. So I wait, and then they start closing the joint probably about 45 minutes later. So this joker laid down here for 45 minutes. Ain't nobody help this joker. Ain't nobody do nothing. You know what I'm saying? He dead. You dig? So I'm like, man. So boom. When they open the doors to let us in to go in, right? They close the doors and everything, man. Then they come in and get him up and everything. And this was so crazy to me, bro. We come out the next day like ain't nothing happened. Now, you know you did time, but this when I'm first coming in, something like that happened, man, we on lock for weeks, 2 weeks. Bro, we was out the next day like ain't nothing happened, right? So I'm like, oh, that's how they playing up in this joint.
Right.
So the first thing came to my mind is I got to get me a knife ASAP. Because it's like if I'm going, you going with me. You know what I'm saying? Because that, I'm not going to let nobody do me like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
and you just starting your time.
I'm just starting my time, bro. So like I said, by me growing up in Southeast and seeing, not that, but similar, you know, I done seen dudes get the head knocked off. You know what I'm saying? While I'm young, I done seen this joint out my window. So I know that, so I'm like, boom, now I'm like literally in the jungle. See, the difference between violence on the street is you could separate yourself from the situation. If they killing over here, then I don't need to be over here.
Exactly.
If they shooting over here, I don't need to be over here.
Exactly.
In prison, you ain't afforded that opportunity. You got to deal with what's in front of you. So you have to make adjustments, man, and you have to be ready at all times, man. And I tell people, it's a universal language all over the world that everybody understands. I could go to China right now. I could go to Egypt. I could go anywhere. And I could speak, and people may not understand what I'm saying. They could say something to me, and I may not understand what they saying.
Right.
If I ball my fists up, they understand that means violence. You understand? If I flinch at them, they understand. Violence is a universal language, and it is the #1 language in the prison.
Exactly.
Everybody understands that. I ain't got to respect this dude or whatever, but I know if he got the potential to be violent, I understand his position.
The thing that, when you say that, it takes me to, I remember I was a little kid, I was crazy about dinosaurs. And then I got into these things about ants, right? And one of the things I learned quick about ants was when they see something else, it's, can I eat it or will it eat me?
Right.
It's that type of environment, that
Right.
type of mentality in
Right.
that type of environment. So it's crazy you say that in the first week, you saw that. For myself, my third day, because I went to reception center, I was in Southampton Reception Center.
Right.
Then I went to the phone. My third day, shout out to Big Goonie Bird too.
Oh, that's my guy.
That's
my guy.
age,
Shout
right?
out to Goonie.
My third day, I just finished talking to Goonie Bird. Go back to the tier. My third day in prison, I got stabbed. By a dude from Norfolk over a Christopher Columbus conversation. Mm-hmm. So when I'm saying that, I say that to say this because I didn't know the ins and outs, the do's
Right.
and don'ts. Like you said, you were on the phone, you were stuck. You
Yeah.
didn't know what to do. Now it's paranoia, right?
Right.
But I think one of the craziest things are they give us IOPs and DOPs. That don't mean nothing.
Nothing.
You're talking about a universal language
Right.
of violence. Nothing teaches us basically how to survive in that except for other people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So who would you say in your time after you saw that? Now you know your head is on the swivel.
Right.
Of course you got the homies from DC. Who would you say pulled your coattail and was like, okay, look, Banky, this is how this work. This is how this is going. Who would you say did that for you?
I would say,
If anybody.
I would say, for me, it would probably have to be Van, man. Shout out Van Burton, man. Van Burton, old head, man. Ironically, I think he did the same amount of time I did. He did 33 years, and even more ironically, he did it for a crime that he didn't commit. I know for a fact he didn't commit the crime, right? But by the time I ran into Van, man, I was just still on some super duper reckless stuff. I ended up getting my first stabbing charge, man. Within my first 4 years in prison, and a lot of that might have came from, you know, the paranoia of what I seen in the wall, and
exactly.
I just was moving like I ain't going for none of this, and I ain't want to be on the receiving end of that. So if I thought you was gonna hurt me, I'm gonna get you, and I was just moving like that, and I can remember, and I was fighting a lot first, but I kept that on hand. That's if you want, you know what I'm saying. So
I got it on, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I remember something that stuck in my head. There's a lot. I'm always a good listener. You got to be a good listener to be able to survive. I'm gonna listen to somebody no matter who they are, and then I'm gonna process it and you know, reject what I need to reject. But I'm gonna listen to everybody. So, and certain things that stick in my head. I remember, you know, by the time I got, because I was fighting in the jail, then I say the wall, all this, and you know, all up in receiving. So then when I started playing with them knives, man, it was getting out of hand, and I can remember when I was at Augusta, man, and somebody told me, this dude, man, he was like, man, you know what? I just got out the hole, and I got in another situation, like about a couple of days after I got out the hole. Then I got back out, and the dude told me, he's like, you know what, bro? He said, you got a lot of time to do, bro. He said, somebody gonna kill you, bro. I said, what? He said, somebody gonna kill you, bro. He said, I promise you, what? Somebody gonna kill you, bro, or you gonna end up killing somebody and you gonna let you tell. I said, man, what you talking about? He said, you just stay in this stuff, Bank, man.
This is young Banky.
Yeah,
you
know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I said, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He said, all right, I'm just telling you, bro. And you know, and it was an older dude, been locked up a minute. So I was like, oh yeah, but it stayed in my head. You know what I'm saying? It did. It stayed in my head, and it curved my, you know what I'm saying, my actions, you know what I'm saying, because I kept keeping that in my head. It kind of made me more paranoid, but it did curve the way I was moving, right? So by the time I run in the van, right, I was on Greensville, and man, this is one of the things that I really, really hate doing, man, and I never really did it during my bit, but I really hate to try to consider myself okay with somebody and then they do something to cross me, because I'm not gonna cross you.
Right,
it's something that they do to cross, and I find myself where I had to separate myself from, or even having the thought that I might have hurt this person, and I don't never want to hurt nobody that I once considered cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that don't bothers me. But in this particular incident, it was a homeboy too, you know, and he just had got so disrespectful and so crazy, man, that I had gave him so many ones, and I told him, man, you need to get yourself in order, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing with me. And then one day over a basketball game, man, watching the Knicks play somebody in the playoffs, and I used to root for Patrick Ewing just because I ain't like the Knicks just because Patrick Ewing played for Georgetown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm rooting for Patrick, not the Knicks, and the Patrick was giving it to him and beating him, and the homeboy was like, he was so mad because he was rooting for the other team, and he was like, I'm one of the main dudes cheering because Patrick killing him. And he was like, man, y'all keep on dick riding Patrick Ewing, and I don't even play them type of, you know what I'm saying? I don't
Those
even
words
play.
right there. Yeah,
bro, that don't make my skin crawl.
Right,
so, because I feel like you talking directly to me indirectly. So I said something to him, and he got all huffy and puffy and running his mouth, and I said, man, I'm gonna hurt this sucker today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I went upstairs, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, he the homie, but he was so I said, man, F it. So I got that look, you know, and I got that feeling, and I'm coming downstairs, and I'm getting ready to, I'm saying to myself, you got one thing else to say, and I'm gonna give you this business.
Right.
And Van, he seen it. I'm standing on the stairway, and I'm eyeballing the sucker because I wanted to say something.
It's already
I'm
on.
just looking at him like this.
Right.
And I'm waiting for him to say one word, and Van pulled me, man. He said, hey, young blood, let me holler at you. I said, nah, not right now. He said, nah, right now, let me holler at you. I said, no, Van, not right now. He said, bro, let me holler at you. And he grabbed me. He said, come on. And he was on the bottom tier. I'm standing on the bottom step. He pulled me in the cell. He said, man, what you getting ready to do? I said, man, I'm tired of this sucker, man. He keep on playing with me. I don't play them type of game. He said, so you just locked in on you won't stay the rest of your life in prison. I said, what? He said, you just locked in? I said, bro, I got life sentence. He said, that don't mean you ain't gonna get out, man.
Yeah.
He said, man, you gotta get it together, bro. You can't just go try to just stab everybody, hurt everybody, man. He said, just keep them away from you. And I never forget this. He said, a sucker gonna be a sucker. Don't be a sucker with him.
Right.
He said, if he keep campaigning, he gonna get elected, but it ain't gotta be you. He said, sit back, somebody gonna give him what he looking for, and they gonna pay a price for that. He said, you ain't gotta be the one. And I never forgot that. I said, yeah, all right, man. He said, man, sit down, man. You want to watch the game with me, man. Forget that sucker.
It's crazy when you say it like that, right? And first of all, let me throw this out there for our listeners too. I'm learning the homie. You know what I'm saying? And I've watched your content and everything like that. I know I've never ever at one time seen you glorify anything we've been into.
Man.
I see a lot of people out there and doing their content. It's like they're glorifying certain stories.
Bro.
That's not what it is at all.
Nah.
When you've really been in that type of, because a lot of these times I see the stuff that they be saying, I be like, that's fake.
Yeah.
That's
fake.
I
see
it.
They
They
all
lying.
day.
You know what I'm saying?
I see it all day.
Yeah. So I be like, but when I'm listening to you, right, and a lot of people you calling out names, I know because we're in the same system.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay, he's not glorifying it. He's telling a story. The reality of it is we're taking back to those moments because you said the person, for you it was Van.
Yeah.
Right? For you it was Van. For me, it was two people. First off, it was the homie Goonie. You know what I'm saying? Because we both, you know, I was in the highway, so he's coming out of the highway a lot.
Yeah.
You know, the old highway hustles back in the day.
Yeah.
He's coming out of the highway a lot. So, you know, I was like little homie to him, right? And then after that, it was Muddy.
Yeah.
Abdul
know
Jabbar.
him too.
You know, me being in my culture, my faith, right, being in the system, it was, you know, I got the title of brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was, you know how to get the title, like, my name is Amir, like, brother Amir. You know what I'm saying? When you get that title, that stamp, you know what I'm saying? Or like for you, DC Banky or whatever, you know, or Lil T, you get those titles, it means something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I say that to say, like, for me, it was those two because I thought I could ball. I couldn't. I wasn't.
Right.
I could dunk and I was tall. I had some you know what I'm saying? I had some, so I could dunk. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, all I did was get in fights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I get in a lot of fights behind basketball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then one year, Mud was like, "Yo, no basketball for you." And I said, "What are you talking about? No basketball?" So the same way Van like put he's like, no, you say, "The way you going, you're not gonna make it out of here."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, you know, trying to digest that, I didn't understand. But I kept playing ball, kept getting into stuff, and then the following summer, I think it was summer 9-5. I tried to get on the court, and dudes like picked up the ball on me. I'm kicking balls over the fence like old cornball. You know what I'm saying? I'm kicking balls. Hey, I ain't gonna let you ball nonsense. I'm playing by myself and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, right after that, I get a request form. I'm going to drop this on you. I get a request form saying I had signed up. Somebody signed my name to go into the electrical class. I was like, man, what? I said, I ain't signed up for this mess.
Right.
I ended up going, finishing the class, teaching the class, right? Teaching the class. Then I got up with some other dudes that was in it, and taking that and then teaching it and so on and so forth. Like I got to say something on my big homie. I call him Big HVAC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He actually taught me more, and that ended up being the job when I came home. The first job I got was an electrical job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All from somebody investing just a little conversation, a little bit of time.
Yep.
Like you said, men real recognize real.
Right.
He was like, okay, look, I see he ain't in the wild stuff. You know what I mean? Like, wild stuff.
Right.
But young, he got potential, and he has an opportunity to get out. I didn't get out for another 17 years.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But then getting out, doing my thing, and then getting that job, you know what I'm saying? That's from somebody investing that time.
Yeah.
And having that. But that's why it's like, for the close, is like, I want to say this. With that, everything that you went through, right? And you had a van. I had a Muddy,
right.
a Goonie. You know what I'm saying? A Goonie Bird. What would you say for like individuals now? You know what I'm saying? Because I know you speak with the children and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say big ups to that, man. Team TBP. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't
with
no
that,
quest.
the work y'all doing everything
Ain't no
with the
quest.
youth. What are some of the things that you would say for the youth now? Because a lot of times they glorify that lifestyle. We know that.
Yeah.
Tell me something that you would say to them. Be like, look, that's not something to glorify. What would you say to the youth now?
First of all,
the YNs, as
right,
they say.
yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah. See, and I've addressed that on my channel,
Yeah.
man. I don't call them YNs.
Yeah.
I call them,
That's crazy.
YKs, man, YQs, man, young kings and queens.
Right,
because
right.
once we start accepting the title, man, then we start acting that title. You see, like you just said, once you get the title, Brother Amir, you know what I'm saying, DC Bank, you're going to start acting the title.
Right,
so I call them young kings and queens, right? But first thing I want to say is, like I say, penitentiary by no means, man, is to be glorified, bro. I'm telling you right now, I spent 12,065 consecutive days easily without
Every time you
question.
say it, man, I'm like, what?
Yeah, easily without question. Worst days of my life. Never had a good day in prison. I tell people that all the time. They say, man, I never had a good day. So you're talking about 12,065 consecutive days with not a good day. They said, Banky, how you ain't never had a good day? You say, business, man, you got a little money in prison, you used to do this, too. Okay, but at the end of the day, I lay down, you know what I'm saying, in captivity.
Right.
So how, how they people say at the end of the day, so how can I have a good day at the end of the day, I'm in captivity. So whatever happened prior to that, me laying down, I was still in captivity. That's not a good day. You know what I'm saying? So I never had a good day in prison. And you would never have a good day in prison. This is what I tell the youth. Brother, is nothing that's going on outside in this world is so bad that you would want to be in captivity.
Right,
you understand me?
right.
Because if you got to wake up every morning and wonder if I got to kill somebody or I may be killed, that is not a life that you want to live, bro.
Exactly.
That's not a life that you want to live. Is no amount of money I could get in prison. There's no amount of prestige. There's no amount of respect that I could get in prison that would not be greater in the free world. You understand me?
Facts.
I tell these youngins, man, do not throw your life away on a humbug. Don't throw your life away chasing a dream. You know what I'm saying? And this is a thing that most people don't realize. Almost everybody, and I'm talking about high 99, 98%, almost everybody probably applies to you, definitely applies to me.
Right.
Almost everybody that I know in prison, whatever they are in prison for, trying to get some money, some drugs, or robbery, murder, whatever they was in prison for, even if they accomplished it, if you was trying to get some money, even if you robbed somebody, even if you accomplished it, it wasn't life-changing.
Right.
But if you got caught, it was life-changing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the things that we trying to get, we want to hustle. Bro, we have an abundance of facts that this is not a good blueprint. I mean, from all the way from the Al Capones down to the Frank Nitties down to you know, it's not a good blueprint. You're not gonna win like that. You know what I'm saying? And we have been brainwashed so much into believing to chase this false dream, this false pot of gold, bro, just to get us trapped off in this prison. You understand? They took slavery away, so they had to be able to find a way to legalize this stuff. Because that's all we doing in prison. We slaves, bro. We working for pennies, and we taking scraps, and we being told what to do, when to eat, when to sleep, where to, it's modern day slavery. So don't let me think or come to me and tell me, oh, bro, I had to do this, or I had to. Nah, you ain't had to do nothing. Because I'm telling you, I know thousands of dudes in prison. Thousands. I know not one that don't want to get out.
Exactly.
So why are y'all out here trying to go into a place that no one want to be? Who do you know in prison ain't calling home? Who do you know in prison ain't saying, man, what y'all doing out there tonight? So why you want to put yourself in a position where everybody trying to get out here and you trying to go in there? So whenever you think about doing something and it got implications of you possibly being incarcerated, then the answer has already been laid out for you. It ain't for you, brother.
Exactly.
Life gonna be hard no matter where you go, no matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? Rich people got problems. You know what I'm saying? But I say all problems in the free world beats the hell out of problems in incarceration.
Let me get all that smoke from out here.
All of that,
Let
bro.
me get all
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I done been out here for 5 years, bro. Everything ain't been smooth, but every time I feel like complaining, this is one of my sayings now. I say to myself, bro, I lost my qualification to complain the day I walked out of prison.
That's big.
I'm not even qualified to complain, bro. I don't care what happened out here. I don't qualify to complain. Bro, I had 2 life sentences, 130 years, and I'm out here. I don't qualify to complain about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened to me, I got to deal with it.
Exactly.
Whatever situation I'm in, whatever finances, I got to deal with it. But I can't complain because I don't even supposed to be here. You dig?
Right.
I'm supposed to be here. You don't supposed to be here. 25 years, bro. We are literally, out here, man. We like a ghost out here, bro. You know what I'm saying? We walking around in the free world trying to do something positive, smiling and enjoying life and being appreciative and being humble after, you know what I'm saying, decades of brutality, after decades of being treated inhumane. You dig?
Exactly.
Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no complaints. You know what I'm saying? We done dealt with everything and went through the worst part of life. There's nowhere you would be on earth that's worse than being incarcerated above ground. There's no place you could be. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Only thing worse than that is death. Yeah. And we don't even know that because we ain't been dead yet. You see what I'm saying? Right. But I know on this earth above ground, the worst place you could be is in captivity, bro. I know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody tell me nothing different about that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been there. So for us to be out here is a blessing. For us to prosper is a blessing. For us to try to do something positive, I feel like that's our duty. You dig what I'm saying? Exactly. Because I wish, like I say, you had a Goonie, I had a van. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else might not be that fortunate. Right. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people that lost their life up in that joint. You know what I'm saying? I started out with a dude. We was in the jail together. I mean, RIP and shout out to Andre Harris. We was in the jail together for over a year. We left the jail together. Went to Southampton. Ended up being in the wall with him. He leave the wall and go to Buckingham. I leave the wall and go to Augusta. Within a year, he get killed. You see what I'm saying? Right. He get killed, bro. He gone. I ran into both of his sons during my time. Both of his sons, bro. Later on down the line, I was with Andre Jr. Later on, I was with Black. Both of them is his kids, bro. Right. You see what I'm saying? So that cycle ain't even broken. He lost his life in there. And I know a lot of other brothers lost their life. You was given the opportunity to come back out here because you got work to do. Mm-hmm. I was given the opportunity to come back out here because I got work to do. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what Allah got in plans for us. So we got work to do. So we got a purpose in life, man. And we got a second chance, and we just trying to make the best of it, man. And I just don't want to see no young brother or sister throw their life away to some false narratives, man, some pipe dreams, something that somebody rapping, something that somebody said that ain't doing themselves. And I think that is the biggest thing that's going on with our community, man. We chasing a false narrative. We chasing something that's not even obtainable. You know what I'm saying? And we got to change our mindset, because you change your mindset, you change your life. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with our aim. We just got to change the target.
Right.
You
right,
dig what
right,
I'm saying?
right.
And that's what I'm talking to these youngins about, man. And I appreciate you, man, for, you know, getting your podcast up and running, man. I know it's going to do things, man. Hey, everybody out there is part of TBP Nation. Man, y'all got to rock with my brother right here because we came out here for a purpose, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep on pushing this positive energy, man, and try to help these young people because no matter how much success you get in life, no matter how much money you get in life, if you don't help nobody, you was a lame. You know what I'm saying? You was a lame, bro. If you don't help nobody, you a lame, bro.
Right.
What's the purpose? So you can look flash or you could, if you don't help nobody, you a lame, bro.
No gatekeeping over here.
Yeah,
no
none of that, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even got the key to the gate. You dig what I'm saying? We
Right.
just holding it open for other people. You dig? So
Exactly.
yeah, man, keep on doing your thing, man. And
Much love, man.
TBP Nation gonna be rocking with you, man. So y'all know what it is, man. Y'all go support my brother.
TBP.
That's what I tell y'all, man. Supporting is important, man. If you ain't supporting, you ain't important. We gonna keep it moving. You dig?
That's what it is. So with that, man, I'm gonna close out, man. I definitely want to say I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely,
and everything.
my brother.
Again, shout out to TBP Nation. Everything you've been doing, I've been watching. I was like, yeah, that right there is a movement. It's a movement.
That's right.
And like I said, we got some
Yeah.
other things planned too. We try to get some things
Absolutely.
going on.
We locked in.
Yeah, definitely locked in.
Yeah, for sure.
I got to give a shout out to, man, Big Bro RE. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to RE, man.
Yeah,
shout out to the homie RE. Shout out to Goonie Bird, man.
Yeah,
shout out to Vic. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the comrades, man. Free the comrades that need to be free, man.
Exactly. To my team, you know what I'm saying? Definitely Second Lap Media team, Natasha Barshalamu. I always mess her name up.
Yeah.
That. But she's got under our umbrella, Second Lap Media. She's got a good project. She's got coming up, Trigger Conversations.
Okay.
She's from Denver. You know what I'm saying? But she's originally from Vegas. I'm sorry. In Denver, doing a lot of good work. She's coming back in this area, doing a lot of things. She has her podcast is coming up. We got Echoes of Survivors. We got a magical team. You know what I'm saying, about domestic violence survivors.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We got that that's jumping up on us as well. And shout out to our tech guys, man, because ain't no way in the world I could have did any of this, man.
Yeah,
I
shout
could
out
have
to
did any
them,
of this.
man.
You know, one of the funny things I always say is like, if you talk about electrical work,
Yeah,
I can wire your whole house from top to bottom.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You talk about
yeah.
HVAC work, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I can do that from top to bottom. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Big love to big shout out to my big
For sure.
HVAC. You know what I'm saying? But you tell me to send an email or something like that, I'm lost in the sauce.
Same way here, bro.
I'm lost in the sauce. So big love to my tech crew and
Yeah.
everything like that. But yeah, man, we're gonna do some good stuff,
Absolutely,
man. Big
bro.
work, man. I appreciate you for coming out, taking the time to do that. Big love out here in Vegas, man. This is how we doing it, man. This is how
Salute,
we
man.
doing it, man.
We out here, man.
All right.
Peace.
We went from the cell to the sidewalk, but the story doesn't stop there. If this conversation moved you in any type of way or healed you or opened your mind, share it with someone that might need it. Until next time, remember, the past is real, but it is not in charge. I'm Amir Tariq from the Visitation Room Podcast, a Second Lap production. Till next time.